What is up, guys? I'm Gadget Inspector. I'm guessing we all know Samsung. It's one big company, bigger than Apple for sure. And we all know that it deals with mostly electronics, but mostly devices. So this week I wanted to share my opinions and thoughts on their mini killer phone. I'll be looking the ins and outs of this killer phone from the A series lineup. So if you're interested, let's not waste any time and let's get into it. Well, let's start with the basics. The release date. I'm not very sure when this device was released, but this phone was released in the mid-2020 after the release of the iPhone SE second generation. Well, I know what you're thinking. Samsung might have copied Apple, then changed a few things. That's not the case here. I read a source that leaks every A series lineup that might come out or might be released this year. Well, the A01 was definitely there in the list. And another thing, of course, the list was from 2020, so Samsung has released a lot and a bunch of devices this year, which are different from last year's devices. But truth telling, the A01 from Samsung, it isn't a competition with the iPhone SE from Apple. Well, the iPhone SE second generation. But Samsung really impressed me this time. They really knew how to make a device that fitted between a high performance and a low price range, in which a lot of companies have been trying to do and fail. And it's even very cheaper than the SE, which a lot of people are looking for a device that can manage everyday tasks very smooth and efficient. Well, there's very little to complain about this device, excluding this one part. My complaint is how they only put a 5 megapixel f2.2 selfie camera. That's a disappointment. But what I like is how the processor, well, the GPU comes together with helping out crisp, detailed selfies and with low latency shots. And of course you'll be getting a 1080 with 30 frames per second video, which for a low-end device, it's a great trick. Nice trick, Samsung. And then of course we have the first impressive finish of this device. They gave us a very good 13 megapixel with an aperture of 2.2. Well, it can go down to 2.1, including a 2 megapixel depth sensor for great looking portrait shots. One thing I can tell you is that with great lighting, you have perfect pictures. Of course, not like the flagship S21 or other high-end devices, but I'm sure you can work with this. Here's a great example I took earlier today. In these shots, I'm hoping that you can see how the depth sensor helps with bokeh. Well, you can measure the bokeh effect, and as you can see that you can measure the intensity to a high of 7. That means you putting the depth sensor to its greatest capabilities or to its highest peak. Well, we all know that we cannot have everything. Samsung will be able to put everything big inside this device, like the battery of this device. It's not big, not small. It's a 3000 mAh battery, which is a very big battery than the iPhone SE second generation's battery. I would consider this battery as a mid powerhouse battery. You can throw a heavy use and still get a usable battery percentage left, which is helped again by One UI 3.1, and it is helped again by the processor. Talking about processors, the CPU is the only Hercules part of this device. Part of this device is an octa-core Snapdragon 439 paired with the Adreno 505 for GPU or graphics performance and 2 GB of ROM. And I can say, well, that is all you want from this killer device. Playing games like PUBG Mobile, Call of Duty Mobile, yes, you can be able to play Call of Duty Mobile on this device, but on low graphics settings. It's really cool knowing that Samsung is paying attention to the little things. This is a device that looks small, but is very big and powerful on the inside. I'm sure you're asking yourself, what do I think about this phone? Coming to my thoughts of this device, I won't say I don't like this phone, but one thing you should know is that I love it. I've been having this device for quite a while, and I haven't faced any huge problems. Apps like Netflix or YouTube can be really enjoyed on this 5.7-inch device with a crisp, loud single downfiring speaker. So would I recommend this phone? Of course I would. It's a device not a lot of people know about, but would be impressed if they had one. I myself will admit I never liked this device when it launched, but the moment I had it and used it for a few days, I fell in love. I was just so in love with it. Again, this device might have a competition. It's either the A12 or the A11 from Samsung, which I'll be doing a deep dive of this device versus the A12, seeing which device is best and better. Well, that's it from me this week, guys. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. Thank you, and have a great day. Peace.